kind of want to, first world problem kind of rant, but not really. I kind of want to weigh in on this Ghost of Yotei situation. For the record, I loved Ghost of Tsushima. I remember seeing it when it was first announced when I was 25 years old back in 2017. I'm 32 now. And I remember thinking that the presentation was just absolutely fucking gorgeous. I remember how ensnared I was when the first gameplay trailer dropped. I believe that was in 2018, I think. But I also remember pre-ordering it too, and I think this was actually the first major AAA game that I actually did not pre-order from GameStop. I actually pre-ordered this game off of Amazon, and I actually Amazon fucked something up, and I somehow ended up getting Ghost of Tsushima like a day early, and that had never happened to me before. So that was a first for me. So I got to play this game before really anybody else that I knew got a chance to get their hands on it, and I can honestly say I wasn't disappointed. Ghost of Tsushima completely lived up to my expectations and then some, much like Red Dead Redemption 2 before that. Because by my own honest admission, the older I've gotten, especially even by age of 25, I don't really get excited for video games. By my own admission, I'm not really a hardcore gamer myself. Yeah, I have franchises that I've latched onto, like God of War and Devil May Cry, but I wouldn't call myself hardcore. But I've always been a sucker for third person story narratives and open world gaming and stuff like that, but also just character driven stories within video games in general. And I was really, really pulled into the story of Jin Sakai of Ghost of Tsushima. And I also came to really like and respect actor Daisuke Tsuji, who voiced and provided his likeness for Jin in the game. And I thought I thought everything was great. I thought the story was phenomenal. Yeah, I thought there were parts where I kind of winced or cocked an eyebrow and thought, well, that was fucking stupid, but it is what it is. You're gonna find that a lot with things in current day. It's more of a minor gripe, if anything. But I told myself that if they ever made a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, if they ever changed, like I would rather see a setting change, but I didn't want to see I wanted to see a story continuation for Jin and his allies rather as well. I had actually suggested seeing the story transfer over to either the city of Kyoto or maybe even the Japanese province of like Okinawa. Call it Ghost of Okinawa, call it Ghost of Kyoto, but I would like to see Jin's story progress. And I told myself, if Ghost of Tsushima was a love letter to like Akira Kurosawa samurai flicks, I would love to see this game lean more heavily into the ghost theme and kind of become like a love letter to like shinobi films as well, like films of Shinobi no Mono or Ninja, you know what I mean? And lean into that. Maybe have the story be where, Jin is now like the Mongols are defeated. We could say maybe this takes place like a year or so after the main game, and then have it to where Jin is on the Japanese mainland and he's rebelling against the shogun, so it's put him at odds with samurai. And maybe have it to where Jin is like kind of technically the father of the Shinobi no Mono. Have it to where he's like the precursor, since he's kind of like a precursor ninja. Have it to where his story is what inspires ninjutsu. Or you could also keep that samurai element as well. But either way, leaning into the ninja element or the samurai element, it gives you the opportunity to introduce new weapons, like like the Kanabo, the Odachi. Even though, let's be real, I don't think those weapons even existed at that time. But then again, the katana didn't either, if you know your history. But you could introduce weapons like the Odachi, the Kanabo. You could introduce weapons like Sai, Nunchaku, the bow staff. uh, the Yari, the uh, the Naginata as playable weapons, and that the weapons could be based off of your. You could just that way you could build off of your play style as you play through the game. You know, that kind of thing. But I told myself that if they changed, like I said, if they're going to change anything, change setting, but don't get rid of Jin. I want to see the continuation of his story. Because if they changed I told myself that if they changed the character, it was going to be a hard sell for me. Now, me, I'm more of like where the story goes with games and stuff like that. So for me, it doesn't matter if the protagonist is a woman or if the protagonist is a man. These things don't inherently matter to me as long as the characters are usually compelling. But once I've latched onto a character, I would like to see the continuation or at the very least conclusion of their stories. You find that everywhere. Video games, TV shows, movies, comic books. That's why characters like Batman or Spider-Man have endured for so long, is because people who have tagged along in their story, and have grown attached to those characters and their stories. That's why, like look at Supernatural. Went for what, 15 seasons because people really loved Sam and Dean Winchester. That kind of thing. So when I saw the trailer for Ghost of Yotei, which by the way, its announcement really threw me off because I just wasn't expecting that really fucking at all. Uh One, I was disappointed, but on several fronts. I felt like the graphics looked extremely outdated, like they literally are just reusing the same graphics engine from Ghost of Tsushima. Like it's been 4 years. Like you mean to tell me that things haven't advanced that much? But from what I've been told, they plan on releasing this game for not only PS5, but apparently PS4 because they're afraid, Sony and Sucker Punch are afraid this game isn't going to sell. And I can't imagine why, he said sarcastically. And, I mean, I'm going to be real here. Seeing a scenario where a male character is replaced by a female character as the lead in a game in 2024, I just kind of rolled my eyes because at this point, it's you'd have to be a sweet summer child to not expect that at this point. But I felt like the trailer really didn't sell me on anything. And you got people out there rubbing the first layer of skin off their fucking cranks, like this game's going to be fire or whatever that kids these days fucking say. But I wasn't impressed because you don't learn anything, you don't see anything, and I just wasn't impressed. And but what really got me was that 300 so year time jump. That's more like 250 years, but still. I think the game is set in 1603 is what it says in the trailer, I believe. But it didn't sell me. And when I saw that time jump, it actually crushed my spirit a little bit. Like I felt this, I just felt disappointed because I knew what that entailed. Ghost of Tsushima takes place in, I believe, 1274. So yeah, it is like a 300-year time jump. My mistake. Well, it's actually longer, more than that technically, 350 almost. It takes place in 1274. So when I saw that 1603 timeline, like time statement, I was just like, I knew that meant Jin wasn't going to be the protagonist. Like I would have made an exception if it was like, the character was like Jin and Yuna's daughter or something like that. That at least would have left me open. But that, like I said, changing the protagonist and stuff like that was already a hard sell. Just completely glossing over and Jin's story altogether did nothing for me. And so what's the point of giving a flying fuck? But I think what really did it for me was I was learning about the actress playing the female protagonist of this new game. I believe the character's name is Atsu or something like that. And I believe the actress is playing her. Her name is Brittany Ishin or Isen or something like that. Now, again, you look at Daisuke Tsuji, and if whenever that guy got heat, he took it on the chin and just kind of turned the other cheek, and he still acted like a very pleasant human being. Like their Daisuke Tsuji literally is a very meta individual from what I've seen, because I've watched some of his live streams of him playing Ghost of Tsushima, and it was actually kind of funny because like watching him kind of comment on him playing a game where he's playing the protagonist who's played and modeled off of him. It was meta, but at the same time it was funny. It was wholesome. He's cracking jokes. He's having a good time. He's talking to his audience like they're actually there in front of him. It was a nice thing, like, because you wouldn't think, oh, this guy's an actor. No, he just came off like a regular dude, and I can respect that. But the shit was wholesome. It was nice. And listening to the guy talk about how he was, he's excited for a potential sequel, because I do believe he will be playing Jin Sakai in the Ghost of Tsushima film, which I keep wanting to think that's coming out for Netflix, but don't quote me on that. But it was nice, and it's a major contrast between the actress for this new game. Again, Brittany Isen or Ishin or whatever the fuck her name is, and honestly, if I'm mispronouncing her name or whatever, or saying the wrong name, I don't really give a flying fuck, because she's not worthy of the respect. Not because she's a woman. She's not worthy of the respect because I've seen her tweets. I've seen the screenshots of her tweets, and she's a disgusting, racist as fuck human being, and that's really disappointing. Yeah, I'm native, and I'm a native white half-breed. I'm not entirely white, but talking about murdering white men simply for fucking existing is disgusting. And I mean, I get it, she's a leftoid, or she's a woke tard leftoid. Like, what more do you expect in the current day and age? I may not be right-wing or Republican or what the fuck ever, but you don't act like that. I don't give a fuck who you are. And what Sony and Sucker Punch need to understand is your actors are representative of your fucking product, and that can sway people's thoughts and opinions on shit like this. Don't believe me? Look at Hollywood. In fact, look at that, let's be real, the Disney live-action remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That movie's not going to do very well. And they have Rachel Zegler to fucking thank for that. Yeah, how many times do you got to see some like actor or actress say some stupid woke bullshit and it actually ends up hurting their product, because that shit turns people off. And worst thing is, I'm hearing like word from even within Sucker Punch that people, even wokies who work at Sucker Punch, find this woman to be unbearable and insufferable and unpleasant to fucking be around. And like, when you're so woke that other woke tards look at you as a disgusting and immoral human being, and they don't want to be around you, that says more about you than them. Like, because people who are far left, in my experience, are extremely fucking hateful ass narcissistic fucking people. And when you're so fucking bad that those kinds of people don't even want to fucking be around you because you're a peg above them and how bad you are, that says more about you. Like, when you're literally, it's like almost like a meme, when you're so woke that the wokesters don't even fucking like you, like, that says a lot. And it says a lot about the make of your fucking character. And that shit makes it even, like, all these other things that are already a turnoff for me with this fucking game, this just seals the kind of deal for me. I'm not going to give my money to a company that rewards a hateful, toxic fucking personality like that. I'm going to vote with my wallet, and I'm going to stay away from this fucking game. And that sucks, because I was looking forward to this. But everything else was already a hard sell this actress and her behavior and the fact that she still has a fucking job right now, that just, I'd rather, that's just the cherry on top of this shit Sunday, my dudes. I mean, I guess if anything, I should thank her, because I got more important things to worry about than first world shit like this. I mean, I still got Ghost of Tsushima. I'd rather play that and feel disappointed of the thought of what could have been than give my money to a give you know than give money that goes towards the paycheck of a hateful ass piece of shit human being like this chick. But more importantly, I also got far more important real financial things to worry about, like, trying to get my life back on fucking track, because that's far more important. So if anything, to this chick, I would have to give her a wholesome thank you from the bottom of my little black heart. Thank you for being a horrible, racist piece of shit, and helping me save about 70 fucking bucks. Anyway, that's enough bitching about something that doesn't matter. If you guys have made it this far, thank you all for watching. Remember to drink your water. Hug your mom, provided that she's a loving and pleasant human being, unlike mine. Say hi to your neighbor. If you're going to work, have a great day at work. If you're coming home from work, I hope you have a great day, rest of your evening. One thing at a time, I guess. And if it's ever, you guys or anyone's having a hard time, just remember it always gets better. And there are always more important things to worry about. But thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great evening.